He's right back. Jones, you were right yet again. Good evening to you all. If y'all had listened to Prophet Jones, y'all would have known because yet again he was correct. Good evening to you all. Good to see y'all coming in. What's going on, John Watson Jr.? Good to see you, sir. Junior, good to see you. Good to see you, Bishop Ray. How are you, sir? Happy Sunday to you all. Man, I'm trying to be the best I can be. Sister Breaker, good to see you tonight. Earl, good to see you tonight. Thank you for coming in. Always glad to see you guys as y'all come in. Thank you so much. Faithful, good to see you tonight. We have some things to talk about. Hey, Smith, good to see you tonight. Man, I'm trying my best to be my best, y'all. Sister Priscilla, good to see you tonight. I am trying. I'm trying, y'all. I really have been extremely. It's been a crazy couple of months, y'all. It has been a very hectic, very, we'll just say hectic couple of months. Will I be in St. Louis in November? I will. I will. You and your future wife, come on, bring her on down. I got license. We can make it happen. Greetings, Pat Smith in Los Angeles. Thank you for popping in. Post resurrection, good to see you. Wisdom, good to see you tonight. New Jersey's in the building. Brother Wilcox, good, always good to see you. Um, Anybody, y'all tell everybody, anybody I was supposed to call or text or email or have a conversation with in the past 2 months, it didn't happen. Y'all charge it to my head, not to my heart. Just been taking care of a lot of things at home and business and all of those sorts of things. Um, Gail is on her way. Thank you. I'm so glad. It's good to be missed. It's better for people to want to see you come than want to see you leave. Hey, greetings. Let's be clear. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate that. Thank you all so much. There is a lot we could talk about. There's a lot that has happened that we have not spoken on. Y'all do know I don't speak on everything. There's a lot of controversy, a lot of junk that goes on in church, and some of it is interesting, and some of it, is just for watching. But we're gonna talk about a couple of things because the April call meeting is getting ready to come up, and everything that I'm talking about tonight is in reference to that. So it is literally um, family business tonight. Yeah, thank you, Jones. Please like, please share, please thumbs up, interact with us so we can get our numbers back up. Thank you, Pat, man. Appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Um, it is a matter of trying to get me and Gail in the same place at the same time. Sometimes can be, uh, oh no, we're gonna be praying for you. Uh, Chemo and radiation. Wow, in 2024. Yeah, we trust God. We do. We trust God. God is treating us well. And Gail has been in a couple of accidents since we were last here. A couple of two car accidents, as a matter of fact. And so it's just been some things going on. Thank you, man. I'm trying to sound, but I feel better. I do feel better. Can I be honest with y'all? I needed to take some time off. It is. Let's just have a transparent moment while I'm waiting on Gail to pop in. Um, but there is nothing heavier than yeah a couple. Can y'all believe that she had a couple car accidents? Um, there is nothing. I know people talk about there's no such thing as church hurt. There is. You can be hurt. There's nothing like the weight of believing that people are saved, and then you realize that man, this is not. The disappointment of people. And so sometimes it could just be heavily weighing upon you. And so I needed a break. Believe it or not, y'all, I needed a break. I didn't just want one. I absolutely needed a mental break for a minute. I needed to just decompress because the church can be on you. Willie Seals, good to see you. Blessings to you tonight. I'm glad you popped in. Glad to see you tonight. Thank you for joining in with us. Thank you all for coming in. We're gonna get to it. Let me text Gail and see where what her ETA is. I just talked to her, but let me text her. She had a family thing, emergency going on real fast, so we had to take care of some things. Let me see how close she is. Everybody needs a break sometimes. You're absolutely right. I have been in the church, uh, even when I was in the streets, I was in the church. So I've been in church my whole life. And one of the worst things you can do is know what goes on behind the walls. Uh, Sometimes I wish I could go back to more blessings to you. Thank you for popping in. Um, Sometimes I wish I could go back to only knowing what's happening in the sanctuary. Because when I tell people all the time, you get behind the walls, that's when you can get messed up in the church. It's not the sanctuary that bothers you. It's when you find out what happens behind the walls. And so sometimes I wish I could. What was that on the Matrix? The green pill, red pill, blue pill, whatever it was, or whatever the one was that sent you back to what you didn't know. Yeah, I need one of those sometimes. Yeah, yeah, Smith. You understand? Sometimes you wish you had that pill. Just Lord, let me unknow what I know, because it'd be hard to deal with if you're not careful, and it can be taxing upon you. Let's call Gail and see where Gail is. Sister Gail, I'm on live right now. We're just wondering where you are. Are you coming? What you whispering for? The people can hear you. I just want you to know. I don't know why you. She whispering like could nobody hear. They can hear you. I'm just wondering where you are. Are you coming? Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, Dr. Murray, good to see you tonight, man. I'm glad to be heard. I'm glad. Sister Monroe, good to see you tonight. Yeah, up close and personal can be a lot. Yeah, it ain't for the faint of heart. Yeah, leadership, man. I've started already with Gail told me in 10 minutes. Y'all, I want y'all to know I was ready on time. I just want y'all to know that I was ready on time. I've been waiting on Gail for an hour. This is nothing to do with me. I'm throwing her under the bus tonight. Uh, yeah, no, yeah, Murray. Nobody. It is different when you are a leader and you have a real heart for people. Um, People don't generally hurt you in church. Leaders do, and it's the failure thereof that generally causes the pain in church. Is when you see a leader fail. It's nothing like seeing leadership fail to mess a person up and to fail you personally. But Gail is on her way. She's sweet, y'all. She had some things, and so we were able to get in on that. So let's go ahead. Let's start this conversation. She's on her way. It was the whispering. Okay, somebody else heard that too. Right? She tried to whisper like I just said. I'm on live. Where you at? And my God, Gil is hilarious, y'all. So the first thing we're talking about is Bishop Lawrence Wooten. Here's what I want to say about that. Because General Assembly is coming up, and I really had a chance to think about this, y'all. I really had a chance to think about Bishop Wooten. I think it's a good thing that he stepped down from his jurisdiction. I think that was good. Um, I don't necessarily think he needs to retire from the general board right now. Surprise. I don't. Um, I don't think he. I don't think there's being on the general board is not as taxing as being a jurisdictional bishop. And I want y'all to tell me what y'all think. Um, but it's not as taxing as being a jurisdictional bishop. He doesn't have to travel. He's only got to come to like 2 or 3 events throughout the whole year. I mean, if he can't do it, I understand. But I mean, he's there, and if he's healthy, um, I think right now, I think he should stay. It's the middle of the term. Um, I think staying until April call of 2028 would probably be a better move. Here's why I say that. Because I think he should get the honor of being emeritused. That's an honorable position to be in. But unless he's dying, I don't think he should emeritus right now. Yeah, the work is at the local level. Yeah, Susan Monroe is right, and that's I really had to think about that. Y'all know I've gone hard in the paint of saying that Bishop Wooten should retire, should emeritus, but I don't remember who took it over. I posted it on the Heat Facebook page, so if y'all don't follow the Heat Facebook page, make sure you do, or go over there and follow it or subscribe to it. I don't know how you do it, but check out the Heat Facebook page. I forget who did it. Um, Let me see if I can pull it up. Anybody know? I know somebody watching knows. Uh, Let me see if I can look real fast. Who took over his jurisdiction? Anybody know who took over Bishop Wooten's jurisdiction? Yeah, I think he should. I think he should be emeritus. I don't think he should be voted off. I think he served his terms, and um, Marvin Sanders. Thank you, Kyle Davis. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bishop Sanders will be taking over him. Thank you so much for not making me go through that whole entire page because I don't even know when I don't remember when it was. But at the end of the day, I don't. I think being one of 12 members on a board, I don't think he's under that much pressure. Do you think? Uh, Jones says, "Do you think it's wise for him to remain on the general board with all that's going on? He's probably thinking differently than the others and is choosing to get out now rather than later." I don't think he's a part of what's going on. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that tonight too. Um, because I'm. Thank you, Sharita. Thank you, Sharita Taylor. Appreciate you. No, I honestly think it's better to have him there right now. I think he tends to be a calming voice sometimes. Um, I think he tends to be a balance right now. The worst thing that imagine this, y'all, because I am Jones. I'm thinking about what's going on right now, and could you imagine with all this going on to put someone loud and bombastic on the general board when we already have all the issues that we're going to talk about tonight and all the issues that we know that's going on? I don't think that's what the church needs right now. And I'm just being honest. I don't think it's what we need right now. I think someone like Bishop Wooten is who we need on the board, who is low key, not causing no problems, um, a senior statesman who can kind of be a balance. I don't think we need. I don't think we need drama. Bishop Ray says, so if the second assistant steps down or steps aside, does Wooden step up? That's a possibility, and that's a possibility that, um, if you're asking me, I don't think we need. I think it's a dangerous possibility. Um, I think right now they're going to have a vote. Like I said, as long as Bishop Houston is sitting in the chair, which we're going to talk about tonight too, I think you have to. I think you're going to have a vote, and I think depending on who is in that vote, because you got to remember, general board is a popularity contest. It's going to depend on who's on that ballot, whether or not Bishop would get on the board. I don't think that that's where that needs to be right now. I don't think Bishop Wooten hurts the general board, and unless he feels physically unable to, the convocation is going back to St. Louis. Um, I mean, that's where I mean. So most everything is going to St. Louis, which is where he is anyway. So, I mean, he doesn't really have to travel to go anywhere or do anything. I mean, and he's clearly functioning in his local church. So, yeah, I just don't see a reason for him to step down. I don't know when they're gonna do that. It makes I don't know. I don't know when they're gonna do it. It is. We're praying for Gail, y'all. I don't know when they're gonna do it. Wooden is just a factor that I just don't think right now um, that we need. I just don't think he's a factor that we need right now. Do I think he's being forced? Bishop Wooden being forced? No, I don't think he's being forced. Not from anything that I've heard. From what I'm told, this is not a forced situation. Um, I just don't think it's a good idea. Whereas you have to understand that's hard for me to say, Smith. You got to know that's hard for me to say because I have been one of the main people saying Bishop Wooten needs to emeritize. Um, but um, it's after really serious consideration of what his role is on the general board, where we are in this session of this quadrennial. We're halfway through. He's given up his jurisdiction. He doesn't have the pressure on him, and I think for the good of the church, I think he needs to be there. I think he needs to be there for the good of the church. Um, he is beneficial. He's more beneficial than he would be harmful, and I think he brings something that um, that balances uh, the church out. So hopefully he will reconsider. Um, I think it would be beneficial for him to reconsider and not emeritize during April call. I don't think that he's in a position where they could force him to. There's nothing wrong with his mind. There's nothing keeping him from that that would qualify to remove him. Um, I did see Bishop Winans rebuke somebody in the choir. I did not see Bishop Shelby and Bishop Shear uh, in Detroit today. Um, I will go back and watch it though. Everybody knows I like Bishop Shelby. He's a friend. Um, I like him a lot. I like his wife. I like his family. He's a real cool guy. I really believe that he would be a great addition to the general board. That's my personal opinion. Because he has a certain attraction uh, to younger pastors and leaders within the church, and so uh, I see him almost like a younger or newer version of what Bishop Darrell Hines was like 10 years ago. That's what Bishop Shelby reminds me of. That's who he reminds me of. He's kind of got that same swag. He's kind of got that same movement. Um, okay, it was Women Day at GI. That's where they do the red roses and all that, right? Is that correct? Um, yeah, Bishop Thomas was the 13th man. After Bishop Thomas, Bishop. Oh, hey, Lady Jennifer, the other half of Bishop Ray. Good to see you today. Thank you so much for popping in. Thank you for letting them hang out with me tonight. I appreciate that. Um, You know, I don't. Let me say this about Bishop Wooten's health. Um, I know it's deteriorating. I don't even mind Bishop Wooten necessarily, as we have had. You just mentioned Bishop. Cherie just mentioned Bishop Mann. We've had Bishop Mann. We've had Bishop um, um, Daniels. We've had so many bishops that have passed off or passed away off the general board. I don't really think um, I don't know that I feel like right now, and I'm just talking about right now. You hear me when I'm saying what I'm saying, because I'm saying it for a reason. I think Bishop Wooten is a better balance. I think Bishop Wooten is a. Our church is in such a position right now. We keep going viral for all the wrong reasons. It's really hurting the brand. It's hurting the church for all of the wrong reasons. And I think to open that up right now is, I don't think that's going to be good for our church. I, I don't personally think it's going to be good for our church. Yeah, I don't personally think it's going to be good for our church. We just have too many things. And the longer the show goes on, the more it'll make sense to you why I'm saying what I'm saying. But I just think that, uh, yeah, it's just not right now what we need. In reference to Bishop Shelby, yeah, he is definitely very relatable, very likable guy. Blessings to you, Kevin Page. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for popping in, man. Appreciate you. Uh, let's call Gail back and see what she, because y'all know I'm slow walking this, right? Let's see if Gail has gotten saved yet. You know, Gail is so. Did she really? Now Dorinda gonna tear it up every time. How is she? How is Dorinda doing? Does anybody? How's she doing? How is the leg doing? I'm getting ready to tell you what's happening in April. Call Kevin. Oh my God! Y'all give it up. The supervisor of the Heat Show Church of God in Christ jurisdiction has popped into the building. Y'all give it up for shouting. Gail is in the building. What's going on, girl? Look, now she don't want to talk or nothing. Let me look and see what we talking about. Is what in the Constitution, Sherry? What are we talking about? Okay, good. Yeah, she had a surgery of some kind. Was it her? Was it a leg, a knee, or something? That was the last thing I was told. I hadn't seen or been followed. I promise y'all, I took 60 days off, so I haven't followed much. He is. I would not say that he isn't. The difference is he doesn't cause problems. Knee replacement. Okay. Yeah. It is. It is not that, you know. So yes. Yeah. Dr. Tyson did reach out. I knew about it. You know, probably almost as soon as it happened. Um, we're going to talk about it. We're just not talking about it tonight. We may get to it tonight. Yeah, the I would have to agree with Joe's. The Constitution just may not. You know, our church right now is living in the Donald Trump era of the Church of God in Christ, where Constitution, rules, laws, uh, you know, it's just it's just not, it's just not relevant. Uh, oh, the replacement of the 12th bishop, is it in the Constitution? Yeah, yes and no. That's a great question. That is a great question. And the answer to that is yes and no. What it says in the Constitution is that the remaining general board members will fill the vacancy until such time as the General Assembly votes to replace him. What that means is that it doesn't mean they get to pick somebody, which is what they tried to do with Bishop John Mark Johnson. What that means is that the remaining 11 feel the responsibilities of the 12th man who's now gone until such time as the General Assembly replaces him with someone else. Now, what the Constitution doesn't give the General Assembly the right to do is have a new vote. What the Constitution requires the General Assembly to do is now fill the vacancy. That's all that it says to do. It doesn't say vote to fill, it simply says to fill. Well, to fill means to fill up under the regular process. The regular process of how we get general board members is the 12 highest votes, right? So that's why you've always heard about the 13th man, because we don't actually, it's not like a thing. Like it's just 1 through how many ever we have, let's say 1 through 20, and whoever the top 12 vote getters are, that's who becomes general board. So what the Constitution says is if somebody goes, then technically it's the next highest vote. The next highest vote becomes the 12th vote. And so that's why all of these elections and whatnot that they've been doing are totally unconstitutional. There's nothing in the Constitution that ever gave Bishop Wooten the right to have another election mid quadrennial. It doesn't exist. He just made that up. Can an auxiliary bishop run for the general board? Absolutely not. Yeah, he can't. No, it's on. It used to be, yes. Paige, it used to be, because that's how we had Bishop F.D. Washington. Bishop F.D. Washington was an auxiliary bishop. He was technically an assistant bishop, but what we now call an auxiliary bishop. So he was not a jurisdictional bishop. So it used to be, but they changed it in '68. So once we got the new form of governance that we have in 1968 that was ratified in '72, then it became only jurisdictional bishops. It used to be any bishop. The ballot from the last election, yes, I do have it. I don't know where it is right now, but I definitely, let me see if I can, let me see if I can find it while we're on the show. If Gail will ever come in here and start talking, whatever she does. No, the other suit is still pending. So the lawsuit that Dr. Tyson won was the lawsuit involving Bishop Green in Florida. The lawsuit involving Bishop Sheard in Memphis is still ongoing. That lawsuit is still ongoing. MX, you're absolutely correct. I agree with you, but sometimes here is, and I don't want it to be, I don't want it to be said, because things go out from this platform, and people will say that Jordan said. I don't want it. When I say this, I'm not calling Bishop Wooten a snake, but here's what I will say. Sometimes it's better to go with the snake you know than the snake you don't know. And I'm not calling Bishop Wooten a snake. What I am saying is, Bishop Wooten, I do not believe hurts the church. Hey Todd Tate, good to see you tonight. Thank you for popping in. The auxiliary bishops, yes, do pay a credential report of $1,000 a year. The purpose of an auxiliary bishop, by description, um, is really to assist a jurisdictional bishop, unless they are an episcopal auxiliary bishop, which means that they were appointed auxiliary bishop by the presiding bishop for a episcopal appointment, which can also be done. But the bottom line is they can do the job of the bishop in the absence of the jurisdictional bishop, where administrative assistants can do some of the administrative work, but they can't do the ordinances of a bishop, where an auxiliary bishop can. Bishop Green most assuredly should be brought up on charges. The question is, for going after Pastor Watts. He is, and I'm gonna tell you, um, I, thank you, MX. I appreciate it. I'm gonna tell you why Bishop Green should be brought up on charges, because the Constitution says all decisions of the General Assembly are final, and the General Assembly voted to end that case and to end all of the actions that Bishop Green was doing as it relates to Pastor Watts, and allow Pastor Watts to transfer jurisdictions without any additional interruptions. And he has defied what the General Assembly said. And so, therefore, I think Bishop Murray, most assuredly, um, and the Board of Bishops ought to be dealing with Bishop Green immediately. Um, he is doing what he's doing because he's trying to get his money back. First of all, nobody told you that you had to sue Pastor Watts in the first place. You did that. And so, as a result, you know, you got to deal with what you got to deal with. I think I hear she may actually come in here at some point, y'all. It's a possibility. The $500,000 donation from the Lilly Endowment. I don't know where it's going to go. Um, but that's a great question. What is my opinion? Bishop Ray says, "What is my opinion on potentially electing Bishop Michael Eady? If that's the case, might as well go ahead and ordain Bishop Nathaniel." I do think Nathaniel Green will be a bishop probably by 2028. I'd be shocked if he's not. Um, I think Bishop Michael Eady. Um, um, Full disclosure, I like Bishop Michael Eady. I consider him a friend, but I do think he would be a good addition to. Um, okay, her computer is sticking. Okay, all right. Okay, um, I do think that he would be a great addition to the general board. I think we need administrative minded people on the general board. I think we need people who understand how to follow the Constitution. I mean, I don't really care who gets on the general board. What matters to me mostly is, will they follow the Constitution, and do they understand their constitutional uh, duties? Um, uh, Sherry says, I haven't seen an auxiliary perform the job of ecclesiastical bishop in his absence. Um, there are some. There are some that do. Um, it's by assignment though, so they have to be assigned by the jurisdictional bishop to. The reason that you wouldn't see it is because that means the jurisdictional bishop has assigned them to go do something that they aren't going to do. That generally you used to only see auxiliary bishops in large jurisdictions where the bishop could not travel from the top of the state to the bottom of the state and be in, he had 200 churches and he couldn't be everywhere all at the same time, and there was all of these district meetings and all of these anniversaries, and So the bishop would name somebody an auxiliary bishop to be his auxiliary to him and would send him in his stead. Now hey True Blue, you are late to the evening, sir. Glad you made it, man. Glad to be back. Glad that you're seeing me. Um, okay, Gala May the 4th. If you're in Detroit, pop in. $150 a piece. Okay. Um, and by the way, I don't begrudge anybody celebrating anybody because we all like to be celebrated, right? So that's I do, but again, I do think Nathaniel Green will be. I don't know what kind of bishop he will be because I don't know of a place. I don't know of a jurisdiction. I don't, to be quite honest, the jurisdiction that he is in Texas. Uh, yeah, I don't see that happening. So I don't know. I don't know. You know, he may get a foreign jurisdiction or something to that. Jay Reagan, it's good to see you. What's good with you, man? Glad to have you in. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate you. Regarding the donation, I was concerned that Bishop Shear made a special announcement. It was like, before y'all hear it, let me explain. Yeah, I don't know what it's. Eli Lilly generally makes donations. I didn't know it was a $500,000 donation. Is that part of the $1 million thing? I don't know. We get a lot of we've gotten a lot of donations on him. They go for a lot of government money, so I don't know. They are trying to get all the government money that they possibly can. Not real sure why. Um, um, honestly, I'm not. I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't know why. What the $1 million for the historical renovation on Mason Temple is going to even do when you just remember y'all remember the whole running part was that we were debt free and he renovated Mason Temple. So I don't know what the $1 million to renovate Mason Temple is actually going to do. Um, y'all are asking all the right questions. I just don't know, because they just it was a grant. Here it is. I have it in my notes. Um, the $500,000 was a grant from Lilly Endowment. The purpose of the funds are intended to support the charity mission, which includes partnering with local jurisdictions and government agencies and organizations to deploy the resources. Um, so that's what it's supposed to go to. It's supposed to go to Kojic charities. That's the answer to that question. That was the information that I got. Is that it's going to Kojic charities. I think Bishop Shear should keep, he should keep an eye on Bishop Dillard. I don't think he can stop Bishop Dillard. I think the only thing, I, I don't know what happened to the tree plant money because I haven't seen any trees. Um, so not really. Listen, y'all. You know, that's part of what's going to be happening this week. I promise y'all, there's a lot that's going to be happening. Um, you know what? Bishop Ray is being hilarious tonight, y'all. Listen. You know what's really funny about that is that there really could be the Bishop Gary Sprewell. That's probably even more funny than thinking that there could be a Bishop Gary Sprewell. Sistina, that is a great question Sistina asked because that's going to bring me to the next section of this evening. When a bishop dies, why does the general board take over the jurisdiction instead of auxiliary bishops? That is a great question, and it's going to bring me up to the second thing that we're talking about. If you saw the title of the show, I mentioned that the General Assembly is, and I said something about the General Board has issues with jurisdictional money. So, from what I'm told, that is on the agenda because there are some jurisdictions that are accusing some General Board members of stealing their money. That's what I'm told. And there seems to be a problem that is going to be discussed during the April call meeting, is what I was told on yesterday. Um, that is going to be on the agenda, and it will be discussed. So those of you who know, you know, and your issues are supposed to be addressed during April call as it relates to this missing jurisdictional money. I don't know if I'll be at the General Assembly or not. I don't know if I'll be at April call or not. I am currently, as y'all can tell, I'm clearly not at home. I'm currently traveling. Uh, Listen, let me say this before I get back to this missing money. You tell Bishop Timmons. I have not personally called him about this, but please tell him that the next time he has a gala that looks bigger and is bigger and better than the presiding bishop, it's going to be a problem. If y'all don't know, Bishop Melton Timmons had a had an inaugural gala in Texas that you that I mean I know he's the chairman of the trustee board, but it looked like it was for the presiding bishop, as God is my witness. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I was out of state and could not make it back in time, but out of control. Absolutely out of control. His sister, Joyce Rogers, would have been so proud. Um, and it also showed that Texas absolutely loves him, and his jurisdiction absolutely loves him. Yeah, over 750 people in the house. I know a bunch of them that was there. Yeah, I was not. I could not make it back, but oh my God, I was so proud. Um, I've always supported him um, in everything that he has run for. And listen, I supported him and didn't even know that him and Joyce were brother and sister. Um, I just, I've always liked him. Bishop Timmons if you've never met him, if y'all see him in St. Louis or y'all see him somewhere, speak to him. He is a really, really, really cool guy. Down to earth, he is. What you see is what you get when you meet him. He's one of the coolest people. Period. Look, you know what? Look who decided to join us after 4 hours and 73 minutes of talk time. And I mean, she done went. You know what? I ain't even say that. What's going on, supervisor?
Can you hear me? I just need to know can anybody hear me?
Would y'all look at this? Would y'all look at this? Y'all say
Because
hello
I need
again.
to know can you hear me? Because I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you. We can all hear you. We can all hear you. Welcome in.
Can you hear me?
We can all hear you.
Can you not hear me? Can you hear me? Can
We
you
can
hear me?
all hear you. We can all hear you. Can you hear you?
Can you hear me? Or you can't hear me?
We can all hear you.
Oh, okay.
We can all hear you. 5,000 times later, we all heard you. Yeah, you look. The people love you. Come on in here. We glad to see you. I'm glad you got the green memo. I'm glad you got. Look, that's what took us so long, y'all. She saw I was wearing green, went on and changed into her green.
I mean, you know, Bishop knows I have been trying to get a system that can be better than what I had, but look like I'm gonna have to go back to what I already had. So we're trying out the new system today. Hello, everyone. Good to see everyone. Um,
Y'all say hello
uh,
to the people. Give me a minute. I'll be right back,
okay.
y'all. I'll be right back. Uh,
If you
we,
could,
we, we've already talked about Bishop Wooten, but if you want to chime in, I've already told him I think he needs to stay. But we talked about Bishop Wooten. We just got on to this money that's been missing in these jurisdictions from these general board members. But go right ahead. I'll be right back.
I'm going to. I don't know if there's enough lighting, but I'm going to turn this light off because it's vexing my eyes. And you can hear me. If you can hear me, please put a number 3 in the chat. 'Cause I know Bishop said he can hear me, but I'm not sure how well you can hear me. If you can hear me, please put a number uh, 3. Then I know. I see the light saying that I'm coming over pretty good. I have a I am a Apple product person, and what I'm using tonight is not an Apple product. So I think I'm gonna go back to my Mac computer. But nevertheless, I am here. Um, I wasn't trying to show that, but it's good to see everyone. Um, Thank you all for being patient. Um, we are over uh, our Easter season. I think now we're in the 40 days, I believe, after Easter, and soon we will be celebrating the Pentecost, I believe. So um, hopefully everybody will be ready to have their Pentecostal Sunday, and I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm going to have to find me something. I'm going to have to find some a red dress or something like that. You know, years ago, um, when my mother was part of the church, they said it was a sin. It wasn't. They didn't like the saints to wear red, but now they have Pentecostal um, Sundays, and I think the colors are red and white. So hopefully, people are getting prepared for that. How is everyone doing? I have been trying to do something new, as you can see with the system, so I do apologize if we are off a little bit. So I'm not sure how much the registration is, but if you could go to koji.org, they will have the information there. We tried to help some of the people that were viewers of our show. We tried to help you back in October, I believe, September and October, to try to help you get your hotel stay at a reasonable rate. But somehow the people didn't believe us. So now you're probably going to have to get the rates that the National Church is offering. So, sorry that you missed it, but we did try to help you out. And the women's convention, those people that are getting ready for the women's convention, that will be in the month of May, the last week of May, I believe. And I think next week or starting, I think tomorrow, I'm not sure. Tomorrow, I believe that the April Call meeting is going on. I did hear um, some of the conversation before I came into the room that they were speaking of um, Chairman Edie. I would like to, I would like to say we are happy. I am happy that he has been chosen to be the next bishop of. Back in the day, they called it Central Illinois, um, but now they call it Illinois First Jurisdiction, which is Bishop Ford was the founder of that jurisdiction, and we are glad that he is the fourth bishop being put in place for that jurisdiction. That jurisdiction is only 69 years old, and so we are grateful. I grew up in that jurisdiction from a child until my adulthood, and I am proud to be a product of Bishop Lewis Henry Ford. He taught young people how to love the church, God in Christ, love the church, love your leader, love your church. And so that has been instilled inside of me. So I do love this church. I believe we can do better as a church. Um, we see things much different now than you can say, about 50 years ago. Things are very different in this church. And some of it I think is good. Some of it, some of it I think is questionable. But yet and still, we are moving forward in the Church of God in Christ. And I am proud to be a part of this great church. There are many names that follow behind the Church of God in Christ, but we are the original Church of God in Christ Incorporated. So I am a proud member of that. I'm glad that we are still moving forward. Glad to see Bishop back. Uh,
Gail, I got some information for you. Gail, I got some information for you.
yes,
Because I
sir.
heard you talking about the women's convention. For regular lay members, for 5 nights in the hotel by yourself, $1,290. If you're a red, I heard you talk about the red car. Red car register is $1,290. If you stand in the room with somebody else, $765 a piece. If you are a white card person, your room is $1,055 for 5 nights and $635 if you stand with somebody else. Yeah, you killing me.
And, and see, in October, I believe October, September, one of the two, September, October, and part of December.
The nightly rate, Gail, hold on before you get finished. The nightly rate, $236.96 for one night. God bless y'all.
But see, if you had you been a supporter of the Heat Show,
Ooh, glory. That is, wow. That is wow. I'm
you
looking at
could
the
have,
actual prices. I'm literally looking at the actual prices right
which
now. Now,
is
mind you, but check this out, though, Gil. For that $1,290, you do get to go to the president's luncheon, and you get a workbook, and you get two workbooks, and you get an e-souvenir book. You don't get an actual souvenir book, but you do get an e-souvenir book. But here's what's crazy. So $1,290, right? Guess how much the president's luncheon is if you don't have a red card? $75. That workbook, $45. That other workbook, $50. And the e-souvenir book, yo. E-souvenir. That means something that they gonna, I guess,
to your email address. To your email address. Or your
$50.
phone.
$50. Not an actual souvenir, but the e-souvenir book, $50. But listen, here's a great thing. Your children's meal card for the week, $265. You heard what I said, for 5 days, $265. Yeah.
Is it for the week or for a day?
That's for the week. That's for the week. For children 14 and under. You do realize that's like 50 some dollars a day. Did it come with feet washing? Who feeds their children $50. Who spends $50 a day on on one child to eat? I don't.
Well, not a day, but I know for a week.
Yeah. That does not include breakfast because the breakfast card is $154. So if you want breakfast and lunch, you're like $400 and some dollars for the whole week for 5 days. It's like $80 a day. I promise you can eat on the Riverwalk in San Antonio for less than $80 a day at a great restaurant. Like
you can eat all week on WW White Road
for $50.
And that's not far. And that's not far from the convention center. It only takes you maybe 10 minutes to get back to the convention center.
I'm talking like this is crazy.
San Antonio is made like a wagon wheel. So
you can literally take a cruise to Greece for the price you're just gonna pay to eat. Bishop Ray says he's having ramen noodles. He's good.
Now there are plenty places to eat in San Antonio.
San Antonio has one of the. I mean, they got more restaurants than anywhere. This is
in the circle, outside the circle, around the circle, 1604, 410, I-25, and I-35. You can eat very well in San Antonio.
But Gail, hold on, Gail. That was for regular room rates. A suite upcharge is from $50 to $350 per day. Depending on which hotel you're at.
Now.
So add another $250 to, I don't know, $1,500, $1,800 if you want to be in a suite.
I don't know for sure. I would have to make some phone calls and see. Now they may try to help you out. Two of the jurisdictions that are in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah, I want to show that I'm actually on their page. This is their page. This ain't me. This ain't me just making up something, y'all. I'm literally telling y'all directly from the women's convention page.
Now, I'm not sure if they're going to do this.
Continue to get an Airbnb.
I'm not sure if they're going to do this, but I think it would be a good idea if Texas Southwest number 1 and 2 would feed the people, because
they're going to have to feed somebody. Listen, you don't even need all that, Gil. You at the convention center, you can literally walk outside the door, go across the street to the River Center, where there are 100+ restaurants. I don't even know what they're talking about.
But you don't want to eat at this one place that sells barbecue.
Bill Miller.
It is the worst.
Stay away from Bill Miller's. This is a public service announcement to the Saints going to San Antonio. Stay away from Bill Miller.
Beware. Now, Rudy's, oh yeah, all day. Rudy's.
That's where you want to go.
That's where you want to go. I think they still have County Line. I think County Line is still open.
County Line is pretty good
on I-10.
Anywhere but anything that says Bill Miller's or Dickies. Stay away from both of those. If you like your taste buds to be intact when you leave Texas, do not eat at either one of those places.
And you can have tacos all day long. I think there's Taco Cabana. I think when I was living there, they were open 24 hours a day. They have good tacos and stuff there. But I'm sure that Texas Southwest
is a great question. They act like it is not a recession. Gas prices ain't high. I don't even know who is negotiating for them. I want to know who is negotiating their prices to get these kinds of prices. Who is negotiating for them that the hotel rooms in every meeting is $200 some a night? Who is negotiating this?
Now, you could have got the deal in September and November. But no, y'all wanted to wait and see what the church was going to do. Well, See what they've done.
I,
So
I, you know what? I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. I would agree. I agree that it's one of our best annual conventions. I'm not. I don't know that I could go with the spiked price. I think. I think. You know. I think. I
I
think.
digress. Okay, I digress. Okay.
I think. I think it's worth going. I don't know if it's worth the hotel stay. I think them other prices are good prices. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You know, it's not very much. You know, in terms of the luncheon at $75 and all that booklets and all that. Registration $155. That's only $5 that it's been. It's normally $150 anyway. But I'm sorry, I don't. Yeah, mm-mm. I
Now
couldn't
there's
imagine
there's
staying.
also your budget restaurants like Church's Chicken. And, I think on Tuesday and Wednesday got the 99 cent, or at least they did when I was living there. They had the 99 cent
Agree.
deal.
I would definitely go to the women's convention before I go to the men perfected men. I promise you, I
I
would.
but
I promise you, I would.
in all fairness, I really think the women's convention is one of the biggest outside of AIM and the Holy Convocation. Years ago, the women's convention had the most productive and most, I uh, well, I would say the most spiritual, really, the women's convention because they had some great speakers and
Yeah, women's
great,
convention is a good convention. It's always been a great convention.
always been good for years.
Yeah.
It's just these last, hmm, well, for years it was heads up women's convention. I mean, not just the women were going from all denominations. All denominations, women from every denomination would come to the women's convention because it was something exciting. They were looking forward to it. I know some people would kind of open their schedule the year before for the year of the next convention. That's how much they enjoyed
But
it.
Gail, with all due respect, with all due respect to Harris TV, it is not worth $260 a night.
Mm-mm,
It
mm-mm,
is
mm-mm, mm-mm.
not. It is in San Antonio, Texas,
But
which is one of the cheapest places you can go in Texas. Like it's one of the cheapest places you can literally go in Texas. I get it. I get it. And you're gonna be in a very nice hotel, by the way. Don't. I'm not tripping.
all of
Like
them are
there are
nice.
some places in San Antonio that's worth it. The
All of them are
convention
nice.
center, the Marriott, I don't know that it's worth it, but
Well, they have
but
two because the Marriott at the Riverwalk, and then there's the other Marriott that they have the window. Um,
yeah. So they're gonna be at the one. They're gonna be at the convention center. The one at the convention center. But here's what I'm saying though. That's for a regular layman. That's not even. I didn't even give you the prices for missionaries and bishops.
for
Oh, I didn't even.
reservation.
I didn't even give you them prices because they're way higher. They Gail, you would be. If I gave you the district missionary prices, you would be offended. Like you would literally be offended. You wouldn't. You'd be like, what? No, stop that. You playing? And I wouldn't even. Yeah.
Someone said the regular lay members can't go because they're giving all their monies to their bishops and state supervisors and district missionaries.
I can. I mean, I can believe that. Listen, let me tell you something. Look, the bishop's rates are $1,470 for the hotel. The district missionaries rates are $1,320. Now, here's my biggest problem. That's only $30 more than the layman, and you a district missionary. It just, I mean, when I tell you all the numbers are, it's what happened to I remember when we used to complain about $150 a night room. Now we are at $258 a night.
Well,
That is crazy. That's just crazy. I
Bishop,
don't know if they have any. That's a great question. Do they have any hospitality professionals that can go to? I don't know. That's a great question. They need some.
well, if they file their taxes by Wednesday and get the rapid refund, if you file your taxes by Wednesday and get the rapid refund, you might be able to afford um, the rates that they are giving you. Um, I wouldn't do it, but I'm just saying those that
Oh,
want to go.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, make sure you file your taxes by this week.
No, but here's what's crazy, right? That's for 5 nights. And there were people, honestly, Gail, there were people that hit us up like $200 for the 4 nights was expensive. That's crazy. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. But God bless them. Um, God bless them.
But
Anyway, Gail.
Bishop, someone's asking about the Airbnb. Well, Bishop had an Airbnb, but he don't have it. It was a beautiful place.
Absolutely, always.
Beautiful
I,
tennis court,
I'm an
swimming
Airbnb
pool.
fan. I am an Air. Actually, I prefer VRBO. By the way, y'all, if you're looking at Airbnb, don't go to VRBO. They have better rates and better properties. That's the truth. That's just from somebody who travels all the time. Um, yeah, I mean, you got to add in the clothes, the purses, the shoes. Yeah, this is an expensive trip, man. This is expensive. Um,
And during this time of year, it's not too hot.
I agree. It's a disgrace. This is. I don't know. I don't know how much profit they have to have. I just. I, I'm. I'm bothered by what I see. Um, and I'm just being honest. I'm being completely, um, completely honest. I'm very bothered um, by what I see
Of
because
any of the conventions, of any of the general settings that they have. This is not just talking about the women's convention. This goes with the women's convention, AIDS convention, leadership, also even with the Holy Convocation. The prices that they are giving the people that want to be there for the whole week is ridiculous. Even to come in on the weekends, it's just outrageous. And then they wonder why the attendance is low. I mean, they have to go back home and still live.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's absolutely. Um,
Someone's asking again, Bishop.
huh?
They have a question.
What's the question? I'm not looking right now, so
What
please.
was what was that? They said what was that again, Bishop? The BRB and
VRBO. Yeah, that's going to be VRBO. Check them out. They got better rates. That's who I use all the time. I don't get paid by them. I don't have an affiliate with them. I'm just telling you who I use, and because I'm the type of person I like to rent the whole place. I don't, and they have really really great rates. So when I travel, that's who I generally use.
see, this is not even counting the offerings that you're going to give during the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
the seed offering, and the expense of the convention offering.
Right.
So it would behoove if you put in your taxes early and get the rapid refund. VRBO, that's correct. That's true. I agree with Sister Bond. She said at this point, especially with attendance, they should just have everything at Mason Temple. Just have everything in Memphis
You
until
know,
they get
we advocated for that. We stand on that. I do agree
I
with that.
stand on that wholeheartedly. Just
Um,
go to Memphis for everything. Due to the attendance has not been um, in great numbers as we would even say 10 years ago.
yeah, yeah.
And then you might be able to get some deals too if you have Groupon coupons. If you got those, you might be able to find something um, uh, savings for your money.
Yeah, I am literally, believe it or not, I'm literally um, on the website.
Elijah Andrews is saying, here's why we need our own meeting place. Well, seeing that the numbers have been like they are, they need to go back to the headquarters. Memphis should be large enough, whether it be at Mason Temple or at either one of the other churches there in Memphis area. That they can have
So
service.
Gail, I'm on the Marriott site right now, Convention Center, looking to book. They have the rooms there are 1577 total with the tax for those same dates. So that is approximately a $277 savings is where we are. That's what we're looking at. I don't know who negotiated that, but horrible. Okay, back to what we were talking about. We'll wait for Gail to come back. Gail, $277. That's what we're saving. Um. So anyway, General Assembly, they're going to be talking about where there's money at. There's some general board members that are being questioned about missing money from some jurisdictions where the bishops have died and it was taken over by certain board members, and so that is on the agenda to attempt to deal with the elections. Gail, I was told last night. Can't tell you who told me, but I can tell you. But I can tell you they know exactly what they're talking about. Um, they are an official in our church, and uh, they called me to tell me that apparently the chairman of the General Assembly doesn't plan to have an election for that seat until 2027.
Oh, really? He's just changing everything, right?
That's what I was told.
Things don't go according to order. It goes by whatever he feels like.
I don't know. I did ask the question of the person who said it to me. Who knows? Um, I know. Sister Brinker says she won't tell nobody. I will. I won't. I won't mention them.
But my
Uh,
question is, why do they need more time? You had
they
enough
don't.
time for the time that you've been in there. So
I
what do
didn't
you
say
want
they
to?
don't. Hold on, Gil. I didn't say there was no election. What I was told was that there will be an election for, and I quote, vice chairman. But the election for chairman won't be until 2027.
Hmm. I guess
That's what I was told.
I really wish the Lord had allowed us to speak to those that have went on before us. Because the first person I would be calling would be Bishop Lewis Henry Ford. Because if I could just talk to him, what is wrong with this church? I mean, what is wrong with them?
We're gonna let boys. I'm tired of this church. I'm tired of it.
What is wrong with these people and titles and positions, especially when you have not been productive? Um, um, true. I mean, not all it has not all been bad. Okay, it has not all been bad, but it's just been strange how things are
It,
going. Oh yes, Bishop Lewis Henry Ford. Yes, indeed. 10 toes down and my hand raised. That's my bishop, and he loved this church. That's the that he said all the time. I'm a part of the Church of God in Christ. He let you know. He was Church of God in Christ. He didn't like all the different name calling and different titles they would put on him. He said, just call me Bishop Ford, call me Brother Ford. That's what he told us. He didn't need all that extra stuff. He knew who he was. But I just think it's just, I mean, what is this? I mean, someone says these church pastors are thugs. No, they not thugs. Trust me.
that
They're not
church
thugs.
stuff. The church. I said to the person that I was talking to, I said to them, I said, what I don't understand, and it really, really bothers me, Gail, because I had a bishop call me about running for chairman, and his question was, what would it cost him? What did he need to be afraid of? It was, and I said to the person I was talking to last night, I said to them, I've never seen so many men in their 60s and 70s who are supposed to be established who are afraid of what somebody can do to you who cannot do anything to you. And I don't know how you want to serve the church, but you're scared of men. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Um, Leadership is not for the faint of heart. And if you're not going to stand for people, then what in the world should somebody elect you for? Because that means you'll do whatever you're told to do. Bishop Wooten is still, he's still out there. He's just more quiet now. Never underestimate um,
The silence.
the power of platforms. Your voices, and I want you all to know who participate in this platform. Your voices go way, way further than our conversation, and I appreciate you for that. Um, those who join us live is probably 10% of who will turn around and watch us later on. And there's always comments later on. Yeah, that's why they block us as much as they do. I said to the national officer I was talking to last night, and I said to them, they said, "Well, why didn't you run?" And so I want to say that publicly, what I said privately. I've been down that road before. Gail knows this because I've had this conversation because she really tried to convince me to run. And I said to you all at the beginning that I took the past 60, almost 90 days off because I mentally needed a break. Um, what I had to go through to run was not worth it to me this time to do it. And Gail, I said to them, I said, it's not the people because I know what the people want. I know the people, Gail, want great leadership. They want to see this church as great as it used to be. And they want great leadership like that who loves the church and loves the people and loves God and believes that holiness without no man can see God and understands what uh, the vision that God gave to Bishop Mason for us to take across the world and what it's all about and giving an opportunity. Why was this all so important? Why do I fight the way I do? Because you got to understand, Bishop Mason designed this because he had been disfellowshipped. He had been defrauded. He had been put out of two different denominations. And he never thought that leadership should be able to do that to somebody. And that's why we have a council of pastors and elders. We don't have a shepherd's nothing. We have a council of pastors and elders. That's there, that's designed to work and protect pastors from mistreatment from bishops. We have the board of bishops that's there to protect bishops and cover bishops from being abused by general board members and leadership. These things are in place because it was never designed for one person to be able to put you out of anything. Um, it just wasn't designed that way. Would it be a good idea or even feasible to combine women's curriculum and no, I don't think so because they. So here's the thing, and I'm gonna go back to what I was talking about in a second ago. Here's the thing: you got to understand the women's department is a multifaceted department. Okay, so the women's department is not about women. Gail, did you know that? Most people don't know that. The women's department is not about women. I know, crazy, right? The, the women's department is not even about women credential holders. That's a part of the women's department, but it is not the women's department. Um, the women's department is Sunshine Band, Purity Class, Sewing Circle, YPWW. It's multifaceted. All of those things fall up under the women's department. Evangelists don't fall up under the women's department, by the way. Just because they're women, they don't fall up under the women's department. They fall up under the evangelism department. So that's why you can't combine those two because you have multiple things under the women's department, and then under the AIM department, those are the auxiliaries in conjunction. So those are auxiliaries united. So that would be music, Sunday school, missions, um, youth, and what else? There's something I'm missing. I'm sure y'all know. It's five of them. Evangelism. I just said. Okay. So yeah, I don't think you can combine those two together. Um, so at the end of the day, it was not going to be worth it to. I would have had to do a number of things, um, changing jurisdictions, filing new paperwork, doing all this other kind of stuff, just to bypass what they did, and I just didn't want to do it. Here is why, and I said this to the person I was talking to. You don't run in the church for the overall people. You can have 5 million members. 5 million people don't vote for you. 3,000 to 5,000 delegates do. And let me tell you all the problem right now. With the delegates, You must understand, everybody appointed to a General Assembly position, that means any of the 200 committees within the General Assembly, are all appointed by the chairman of the General Assembly. So that means their daughters, their nieces, their nephews, their wives, their sisters, their brothers, their husbands, their whatever, are all interconnected to this particular one person. That's what you're dealing with. That's what you have to overcome. So when you start talking about making change, and you start talking about moving people and start talking about cleaning house, you're not just talking about the chairman, but you're talking about everyone that they have appointed. Now you got to get the majority of those people to fight for you. And so when you wonder why there's no one fighting, that's why. Because it's against their best interest. Yeah, they have an interest to be in the position. People want the titles more than they want the fairness in our church. Our church was designed by Bishop Mason to be a place where you could come from nothing and make it to the top of the church. You cannot do that now because since 1972, nepotism took over, and old buddy system and friends, and that's how Bishop J.D. Husband got on, because he was best friends with Bishop J.O. Patterson, and it didn't matter what people may or may not have known about this person or that person or whatever the case may be. So that's how these things happen. Everything changed. Y'all got to know everything changed in 1968 to 72. And so what you see today is a result of those changes. And so then we started getting a bunch of leaders who wanted to set things up for their sons and their grandsons, and their this and their that and the this and the that and the that. And so now it is where we are today, where now people just put in their friends and family, and that's what we have going on. And until the church decides to make a change, we're going to be right where we are. Yeah, I want to talk about that. So so they're going to be talking about this week as well term limits. I don't necessarily, Gil. Magnolia Brown just hit on it. I don't. Y'all are so smart. Uh, we did just elect a vice chairman 4 years ago, when we also elected a chairman, or not elected a chairman because he ran unopposed. So here's the thing. I'm not necessarily in favor of term limits. I'm in favor of two things. And I'm hoping that there is a motion put on the floor to amend what has been put on the floor about term limits. What would be required would be a motion to amend that. And I think it should be amended to two things. First of all, the age limit right now for a presiding bishop is 76. I think that should be across the board. I think that should be across the board. I think you have to do that. That's number one, and I think that's across the board. I think, and God bless our senior bishops, but I think 90, 95, we got to stop that. We need to stop that. The presiding bishop can only serve until max 80 if he's in good health and good mind. I think that needs to be across the board. That's number one. Number two, I think that you should not be in position. I would go a little further than Magnolia Brown in that I would say 12 years. That's 3 terms. I think 3 terms is long enough to serve anywhere. I don't want to call it 12. I mean, somebody would say, well, that's term limits. But I think if you, Gail, limit the age to 76, because most people get in those positions at around 60, I think, Sister Brown, it's going to have the same effect. I think if you age it out versus term it out, I think you ultimately end up with pretty much the same situation. Almost nobody gets in top tier positions. I mean, yeah, Bishop Dillard is young. Bishop Hankerson is young. Uh, Both of them are right around 50. I think Bishop Dillard maybe 50 or maybe younger. I know Bishop Hankerson is like 52, 53. So, I mean, it's not a perfect concept, but I think we have to begin to look at something um, different than what it's been because to have people there forever is just not good. Yeah. So Brown says, okay, that's enough time to be established, and you pass the baton. See, we can make better for the entire. Yeah, it's about the church. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The reason that I didn't stop at 10 years. I know the AME Church does 10 years, and I've suggested that in the past. I think that we should. I think jurisdictions should have elections every 10 years. That is my honest opinion. I think jurisdictions should have elections, period. But I think they should do it every 10 years. That's my opinion about jurisdictional bishops. I think there should be an amendment to that. Um, but I also think one other thing, Gail, and I think this will eliminate a lot of people who even think they want to run for jurisdiction. I mean, for general board. I think if you're elected twice to the general board, I think you should have to give up your jurisdiction. Um, I think that there has to be a trigger to where you can't be on the general board and maintain a jurisdiction at the same time. And I think after you've been elected to a second term, your jurisdiction should be vacated and new bishop should be put in place. Number one, you're gonna have a lot of people that won't run for the general board because of that. Because it's more profitable to be a jurisdictional bishop to some of them than it is to be a general board member. Um, but number two, that essentially means that once you get on the general board, you are heading towards retirement.
But our church is not set up for preachers, pastors, bishops, and whoever that serve in this church to have a retirement.
Yeah.
So if the national church, or if jurisdictions were set up with a retirement plan, maybe those bishops would consider doing that. But since they're not, they don't have a retirement plan, they stay in office until uh, they are unallowed.
Well, I think if running for the general board costs you nothing, then anybody will do it. But I think if you have to decide between that and your jurisdiction, you have a lot of people that will stop trying to run for the general board to double dip. I think it's double dipping. I think it's a problem. Um, Bishop Ray, you're correct. You do have to say I ain't scared, and God knows I'm not. I'm not a person who's scared of anything. But you have to understand the calculus of who's really electing you and how to get there. And so I just didn't feel the need to do it this time. Uh, I strategically decided to wait, and I'm going to wait until 2030, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'll be back in 2030, but just right now, I just don't want to do it. I needed to regroup and recalibrate myself. That was really honestly a personal decision. Um, Local bishops should not be allowed to hand the jurisdiction off to anyone. They have input now. I think they need more than input. I think they need a vote. I think they need a binding vote. Just like we vote for a general board and presiding bishop, I think you should have to vote for jurisdictional bishop. I think putting it in I think we need to take it out of the hands of the presiding bishop and general board. I think that there needs to be an amendment that removes that because that becomes too political. That I guarantee you, if the people in Indiana had been able to vote, um, I think if the people in Indiana had been able to vote, you would have a bishop in Indiana that would not be the bishop. So if the people had the ability to vote, you have a couple of bishops in Michigan who would not be their jurisdictional bishop. Um, will they discuss women pastors and shepherds? I was told not um, this General Assembly. That's what I was told. That's not on the agenda from what I'm told. They need to, but I'm told it's not on the agenda unless it gets added after your show tonight, um, which we've seen that happen before. Grace and peace. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for popping in. Does anybody want change from the general board? I think there are people who want change from the general board. Again, here's the problem, and I got to say it again. Um, the way it is set up right now, the problem is the majority, 99.999% of all members of the Church of God in Christ do not vote for these people. They're supposed to. Now, Gail asked me how.
So. And by the
So,
way, when you get ready to explain that, we need you to hit that like button. There's a lot of you in there. We only have about 37 likes. So if you don't mind, if you will, it doesn't cost you anything. If you can just hit that like button, that would help us out a lot. Back to you, Deucer.
yeah. So here's how that works. What is supposed constitutionally? Let's talk about the Constitution. The Constitution requires that every jurisdiction have a jurisdictional assembly. Okay, so that's for every member of a jurisdiction. That jurisdictional assembly is supposed to elect the delegates. Delegates are not automatic. I know it's shocking. People don't know that. The only automatic delegates, according to our Constitution, are bishops and supervisors and general board members. That is it. Every other delegate is to be elected by their jurisdictional assembly. And they are elected. Here is why the reports are important. Because what an effective chairman is supposed to do is get the reports. So the general board reports, all of those reports, elections, who's going to be on the ballot, all of that is supposed to be given to the jurisdictional secretaries prior to General Assembly meetings in April and November. Those jurisdictional assemblies are supposed to vote on those things. And those delegates are then supposed to go to the General Assembly to vote as they have been elected by their jurisdictional assemblies to vote. That's why we have what our Constitution calls a representative form of government. So the delegates are supposed to be representing the jurisdictional members back at home. That is not what currently happens. What currently happens is these jurisdictional bishops, every elder that wants to go is a delegate. Every pastor that wants to go is a delegate. If you paid your credential report and you tell them that you're going to convocation or you're going to April call, then they give you a certificate. So they're not going to represent the people, they go to represent themselves and the bishop in their jurisdiction. So the people are never heard. But what our Constitution requires is that the people have a what it literally the word says, representative form of government. As a matter of fact, it was so important that it's one of the two things that can never be gotten rid of by any General Assembly. There are two things. One is our doctrine, and the second one is our representative form of government. It can never be done away with. So that That's why we have jurisdictional assemblies. And therein lies the problem. Because they don't follow the Constitution. The Constitution requires that delegates be elected by their General Assembly. So elders, just because they have credentials, are not delegates. Pastors, just because they have credentials, are not automatic delegates. District missionaries, as a matter of fact, our Constitution only allows for 2 district missionaries to be elected delegates to the General Assembly. So it shouldn't even be that many district missionaries at a General Assembly as a delegate because the Constitution doesn't allow for it. It has a specific number in the Constitution, 2. And then 2 lay members. So every jurisdictional assembly is supposed to have 2 non-credential members who are elected as lay delegates to be a part of the General Assembly and to be able to vote. That's why the report. So when I'm always complaining that the reports don't get out and people don't know the agenda, that's the problem with what the chairman does, is because you don't know what's in the report till you get there. And then if you're not paying attention, you're not listening, by the way, or reading up on that screen, you don't even know what you're voting on. Well, how can you represent the people if the people don't know what you're voting on? So all of this is out of order. All of this is unconstitutional. That's why we're supposed to know who the candidates are. So again, when the jurisdictional assembly is held in September, October, that jurisdictional assembly is supposed to vote on who they want to be elected. Those delegates then go to the General Assembly, Gail, and vote for the people that their jurisdiction voted for to elect. Does that make sense? You catching where I'm at now? So that is how our church is supposed to operate.
But it
That
seems
is
like
not
when
how
they,
it operates.
but it seems like when they do have a session of the General Assembly after a a national meeting, so they still don't get to the important issues. And the question is, why is that? Because things linger and linger and linger up to 2 to 3, 4 years and still have not been handled.
Again, how can they? Again, if you don't know what the report is, you don't even know what to object to before you get there. You don't even know what to object to. You don't know, so it's hard to get through an agenda when you don't know what the agenda is before you get there. And that's why it's so much unreadiness, because a lot of people don't even know what's happening until it's too late. Therein lies the problem. Dude. Therein lies the problem.
So who can make a voice to make these changes? Because nobody's saying nothing, and everything keeps going just a revolving circle
Well,
every
you got
every year.
two. You got 2 things. You have a problem with delegates not making their voices heard at a General Assembly, but then you also have the jurisdictional bishops who are not operating their jurisdictional assemblies. You got a lot of assemblies that don't, a lot of jurisdictions that don't even have a jurisdictional assembly neither. So you got 2 problems, essentially. Yeah, you essentially have 2 problems.
Someone made a comment, Bishop, was
Uh-huh.
saying, "I'm so sick of seeing the whole family getting paid um, in the Church of God in Christ." And they said they're sick of it. I think a lot of people are
I
having a
thought you just
problem
wanted,
with it, but it seems like no one really standing up to say anything. They just say, "Well, that's just what they do." Mm.
well, I think that's the problem. I think that we spend too much time saying That's what they do. And so we give up our own power. And when you're willing to give up your own power, you can't be surprised when you lose power. Now, I want to show this, Gil, because I believe in paperwork. I don't just believe in talking. I believe in paperwork. Let me know when it's big enough to see, Gil, because I don't know. Is that big enough to see?
I believe if people can't see that, maybe with one that might be good. As long
That's
as
good
you
right
can
there?
read it.
Okay. Can that be seen?
Yes.
Okay. So, I want to show you what our book actually says. This is the General Assembly. And I want to show you what I'm talking about in terms of elections. So these are the members: the General Board, jurisdictional bishops, jurisdictional supervisors, pastors of local churches and elders, right? Two district missionaries, one lay delegate, they moved that to two, and such foreign delegates as may be determined by the General Board. Okay? So that's who makes up the General Assembly. Now, the election, the delegates to the General Assembly, who are guaranteed delegates, okay? So this is what I'm talking about. Delegates to the General Assembly, except those designated in Section B, subdivision A, B, and C, shall be elected by the assemblies of their local jurisdiction. You see that, Gail? Their respective ecclesiastical jurisdiction. So let's see who A, B, and C is. A, members of the General Board. B, jurisdictional bishops. C, jurisdictional supervisors. Everybody else, pastors, elders, two district missionaries, lay delegates, shall be elected. Shall. That word is shall. That means must be. Okay? Delegates to the General Assembly, except those designated. Now watch this. In Section B, subsection, let's go down. Subdivision A, B, and C shall be certified by their respective jurisdictional assemblies. Okay? So, Gail, what that means is that outside of the General Board, jurisdictional bishops, and jurisdictional supervisors, every other person that shows up at the General Assembly has to be elected and sent there by their jurisdictional assembly. Period. Hey, Dr. Hutton, good to see you tonight. I don't know. I may be there one day. I may be there one day. I've got to see. Um, I think I'm scheduled to be at the General Assembly day.
And can we please get the lights up, please? We need some more lights. I know there's more people in the chat and those that are watching. If you don't mind, could you hit that like button? I only have 51 likes, and I really need you to kick up these numbers. If you don't mind, would you please hit the like button? That would help us out a lot.
Go ahead, yeah. Give me just one second. I'm looking at something.
Support this channel, please, by hitting the like button. It would help us out a lot. It doesn't take, we're not asking you to pay for the like, we're just asking for you to hit the like. But if you will, if you'd like to donate to this channel, There are hours that you can look at: $3, $7, $15, $25, much less than what you're going to pay for the women's convention. So if you could just
You are crazy.
if you could just please hit that like button, if you don't mind, if you could share it on your social media pages, that would help us out a lot.
It looks like Thursday. Looks like I'm supposed to be there Thursday. Um, did I see Marvin's sad? I agree, Dr. Hutton. That's where I'm getting to. I think and I really do believe that all positions, all of these national positions, I think 2 terms is enough for anybody. I'm willing to go 3. I'm willing to go 3. But I think 3 ought to be the max for everybody. I think 12 years is long enough for anybody to be anywhere. Um, I'm hesitant to say 12, but I'm willing to say 12. Here is why: because the first 4, the first time you get there, it takes a little minute to make some change. You can't really do it in the first opportunity. The second term is kind of where we get to see that person's personality and kind of what their leadership is actually doing to affect the church. But by 12 years, it's time for you to go. Yeah, by the time you get to 12 years, let me yell. I'm getting ready to digress for just a second here. I'm getting ready to digress for just a second because I want to say something. I did see what Marvin Sapp said. I did see that. I did see what he said about getting rich off of 75 members. Let's talk for just 1 second. Yeah, let's talk for 1 second. Because ironically, Gail and I had this conversation. I don't know, probably last week sometime. Because I was having this conversation with another preacher. Here's the thing. First of all, a mega church in America is not 1,000 to 10,000. A mega church in America is any church that's 2,500 members or more. That's a mega church. Okay. He did say that, people are talking and acting crazy. How can you get rich off of 75 members? So let's talk about it, right? However, the average church in America is somewhere between 50 and 150 people. That's the average church. Okay. The truth of the matter is, if you have 500 members, you probably have a big church. That's considered a big church in most, especially Pentecostal persuasion. Most of the pastors that I know who have 75 members, and he gave the correct numbers. He said only 20% of your he said this. Only 20% of your membership is tithing. How you gonna get rich off of that? Well, let's look at the numbers. If you have 75 members and 20% of them are tithing, okay, and 20% of them are tithing, that means you have roughly 15 to 20 members who are tithing. So let's say you got 20 members who are tithing. And let's say those 20 members are tithing $500 a month. That's $10,000 a month. King Chives in the building. What's going on, little bro? Good to see you tonight.
Yeah, go ahead and send the video to Bishop.
I watched them on if y'all haven't seen it, go watch the Jive show. He did a complete job.
I did watch earlier
tonight. But I want to give you the number. I want to give you the numbers because this is the truth. First of all, I know pastors with 75 members, and I know pastors with 75 members who make $300,000 a year. Okay, here is why. Because if 20 of your members get $500 in tithe and offering a month, that's $10,000 a month. Okay, if those same 20 members are averaging $1,000 a month, which is about what a tithing giving member does, that's $20,000 a month before Gail, the other the other 55 members give anything. That has nothing to do with any outreach. That has nothing to do with anybody else giving anything. So you start off at $20,000 a month. Never let somebody tell you that small churches don't generate funds. That is crazy. That is not real. Um, I did see that. First of all, Bishop Wooten is never going to respond to 47 at all. We already know that. Y'all know it. I know it. When he fired, when they've been firing black women, they won't promote black people in the military. There's a lot going on. We're gonna talk about that Friday because I'm back now, so I'm ready. I'm ready to go. We got a lot to talk about when it comes to that. But I got a lot of questions for Bishop Wooten and his son-in-law. But so Bishop Sapp, when he says that, it's just not the case. That is just not the case. You don't have to have a lot of members for a lot of pastors. Y'all wonder why you see pastors with small churches who drive big cars and live in certain houses. It's because, it's a matter of numbers. That's just where that is. So, yeah, we're gonna talk politics on Friday. Y'all, we getting into it.
Well, Bishop, let me ask this question. Since
Yeah,
Bishop Marvin Sapp made that comment, was he not, um, is he not pastoring a church is well established already? Because he did start a church of his own in Flint, Michigan. How many members did he have there in Flint? Was my question.
his
Um,
church was he had a nice church, but he never had a lot of members there.
so why would he
Certainly
even
not more
say,
than 200.
for him to even say something like that, that is just
So
crazy.
here's the misconception. Here's the misconception. The misconception is that musical artistry and popularity translates to successful pastoring. That doesn't work generally. Most artists don't have. Hey, Uncle Ro, good to see you tonight, Dr. Taylor. Glad to have you in the building. Um, Most musical artists don't translate into successful pastors. It just doesn't happen. Go ask Leandra Johnson. It doesn't equate. Go ask a bunch of people. Go ask John P. Key. You can ask a lot of people. Smokey Norfolk is probably one of the few people who really has a successful church. Um, Brian Carn being licensed in the church, Bishop Hogan says that he is. Bishop Hogan says that he is. Um, I
And
don't
that
know
is his
how he
vision.
would be. I don't know how he would be because he's most assuredly licensed under Bishop Lambert Gates. So not real sure how that happens.
Well, Brian
Um,
Kern did say check the record because he does have license through God
my
Organization.
understanding is that. So let me say this. So there are some bishops that what they do is they pay the credential reports for all of their pastors and elders in their jurisdiction. My understanding is that Bishop Hogan has paid his credential report for the past 3 years. That's what I was told. That's the only answer that I have. That's just what I was told. So I don't know without seeing his F1. I don't know. I just assume that's what it is. Um,
Well, I was in Toledo. I went to Toledo, Ohio,
mhm.
and Bishop Vance Allen had a church there, and I was there for a weekend because his birthday was being celebrated on that Saturday night, and I went to his church the next day, and I
I'll look
could
at it
count,
real.
I can count more benches in the church than I could members. So,
I mean, hey, listen, Bishop Sheard didn't have a very large congregation before he became presiding bishop. That's just the facts. It's a lot of, first of all, being able to sing my soul happy and me wanting you to be the shepherd of my soul, just they not the same thing. And so um, a lot of people just don't, they just don't want that. Bishop Hogan I know, I started in Atlanta. I started pastoring in Atlanta in 2003. It's God bless Bishop Hogan. That's the whole thing I'm gonna say. Um, if you're in Atlanta, if you know what you know. Atlanta is one of those places that when you get there, what the world thinks and what people know are often not the same things. And it hey, listen, God bless Bishop Hogan. I don't know what the deal is with Brian and Bishop. I don't know what that whole thing is. Um,
But there are some bishops
I don't know what that is.
in our church, in our organization, they have more members or they have more churches in their jurisdiction than they have members in their local church.
That's true. Some of them have more churches than they have pastors. I mean, it's just
Mhm.
but from the perspective of trying to say, because I think his argument was he was trying to knock down the argument that he makes money from his church. I saw the question: why do so many of these musicians become pastors? Here is the thing: successful. I don't care how successful you are in gospel. You need a stable base. And really successful musicians are all generally worship pastors somewhere else. If they're not, they become pastors. Some of them are called, some of them that's just the business model. Um, yeah, I think, Sherry, I think you're right. Definitely, definitely an uninterested organization for the fairness of elections. I think you got to do that. But I think so many of them, Gil, try. They think that pastoring is just the natural next thing. They think here's what you have. Can we just okay? We all grown. Let's be honest. They think hooping is preaching, and they think because they can sing, then they can hoop, and that's all that matters. And because so many people just want entertainment, and they don't really want pastoring, they don't really want life applicable word. They don't, they need the dramatics of church. Then they think that they're going to do that, and what happens is you'll have a bunch of people. They swell. What they do is they swell because they're so popular. People run to their church, and then when they realize there's no substance, then their churches end up empty. I think Devin Watkins will be. He's an awesome musician. A lot of great musicians turn out to be great pastors. I think musicians. It's a different translation sometimes. Um, yeah, I think it's a different translation than artists for some reason. I don't know why. But I think it's a
Bishop
different.
Gerald Hines was a musician and an artist before he became a pastor,
Yeah,
and he helped his father um, until his father took ill, and then because he started as a musician in an elder, and so and then you see now where he's on the general board. So
Um, I think if a recession hits, pastors, a lot of these pastors will do. A lot of pastors will do what a lot of these guys do, and that's just tell you to give anyway. Believe it or not, giving goes up in bad economic times.
because people really need the church. The church is really needed. Um, and I still need you to hit that like button if you don't mind. If you forgot to do it last in the last couple of minutes, would you please do so now? I think the church is really needed, but I think what has really not actually hurt the church, but to cause the church to decline in numbers is you can now view the service on YouTube or on Facebook or any other um, social media outlet. So people, sometimes people rather, they will give, but sometimes they rather stay at home and view the service from home than being in the general setting.
Wow. Give me one second.
Because you can even see within our organization, even during the Holy Convocation, you have more viewers online than you have within the in-person seating.
That's true.
So, not saying, and I don't know if it's put a big hurt on the church, but it's an alternative that people have taken to view service online and to give electronically.
As it relates to what's happening, because I saw you all talking about Uganda and others in the support of Israel. Here's my problem here. The misconception is that because people have taken scripture out of context, right? Scripture deals with, I was pulling it up. We're talking about Genesis, where God deals with blessing those who bless Israel, personally. The problem is you have to remember anytime Israel has been taken over by an enemy, it has been because of their disobedience to God. And no one can save Israel from God. God doesn't require us to do that. What He requires us to do, God talks about blessing. He's talking about spiritual. Everything in the Bible is spiritual. It's not physical in nature. And so America cannot save Israel. That's not our job. To think that God wants us to drop a bomb on 200 little girls for the sake of Israel is crazy. That's not God's requirement. Hey, St. James, good to see you, man. Glad to see you in the building. That's not God's requirement of us, to drop bombs on little kids. I don't know how there are some in this church who go for that. And I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to bring out your name on Friday. But it's too many people that's talking crazy right now. That's not our job. I heard one preacher in this church bill say that to be against Trump is to be against God. Are you crazy? You have clearly lost your mind. I think many areas may need to be overhauled. I think we have lost the sense of who we are. When we have members of our church condemning Jesse Jackson and upholding Pete Hexon, it's something wrong. When we have members of our church supporting white Christian nationalism against the interests of black people, it is something wrong, in our church. We have lost our way. It's something absolutely crazy when we're doing this. And Jesus couldn't have been a Christian because here's the thing. Please remember, Jesus was the Christ. Christianity simply means a Christ follower. He didn't follow himself. We follow Jesus. Anybody who takes the concept that Jesus was Christian, Jesus was the Christ. Hey, Bishop, good to see you, man. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Uh, please go back and call me and let me know what you think, or shoot me a text and let me know that I messed up tonight. Um, but Jesus is the Christ. Understand that. Please understand that. We are Christ followers. Jesus talked about the Father. Jesus was the Messiah. He was the promised one, the person chosen and set apart by God to redeem us. Please understand what his job was. To come back and redeem us back to God. There you go. Christ is the title. The Christ. He is Jesus. He is the Christ. Christ ain't his last name. Okay? That's not his last name. That's his title. That's who he is. That's what he was. The Messiah. The anointed one. The chosen one of God. Okay? So he is the one that was foretold about, that was prophesied. There will come a one, right? That's Jesus. But what's happening in Israel and what's happening with Israel, that is not the Israel has never been the business of other folk. It's always been God's business. Why did they need Exodus? Because God allowed them to be overtaken. Read your Bible, and you will find out every prophet that went to Israel had to go back and tell Israel, God said, if you return and be his people, he will return and be your God. That's what the whole purpose was about. Why did they stay in the wilderness for 40 years? You really believe that God could be, again, remember, disobedience, murmuring, complaining, all that was God's doing that to them. That was God doing that to them. Don't you remember that it was God who told Moses where he would not end up in? Then he said all of the rest of them going to die in the wilderness. Not one of them would make it. And when the last one died, now they went into the promised land. That was God. What could America have done to stop God? Please study Hosea. Please. And Malachi. Please understand. This is so we gotta understand um why we do what we do. We don't do it simply for the sake of thinking that our job is to support Israel. That's not our job. That's not our job. To bless means to speak well of. It doesn't mean to fight for. It's where we get the word. It's the same concept as a eulogy, to speak well of. Bless them that bless you. Okay, right? But we're supposed to bless Israel. This concept of thinking that it's our fight is not our fight. That's not us. We act like God doesn't allow things to happen. And here's what's really crazy, Gail. The people of Israel don't even like Benjamin Netanyahu. They call him a war criminal. The people of Israel want to stop fighting. The people of Israel are tired of creating more people that hate them because of what they do, because of what this man has wanted to bomb these people for 40 years. We've been talking about it for 40 years. He just couldn't find a president who was dumb enough to go with it. They don't even want him over there. He was on, that's right, he was on his way to jail before he was in the same boat as our current president. He was on his way to jail if he hadn't got reelected. And so he keeps starting wars to keep them from having elections over there. You got to understand geopolitical concepts that's happening throughout the world. So Netanyahu keeps doing this so that Israel won't have an election. That's the same concept that Trump has come up with, thinking that he can use when we keep hearing them talk about the War Powers Act. Because if we're at war, he thinks he can suspend elections. That's what this is all about. This is about power, y'all. I can believe that. I am glad to see the GI is growing. GI has grown more under Bishop Sheard being presiding bishop than it ever did before. And let me say this though, as it relates to to Bishop Wyman. Oftentimes, when they know the pastor is sick, the churches start to fall off. That happens. Plus, with him getting married, that did not help his church. I don't know that it will help Bishop Sapp either. But because people, here's the thing. Let me give some advice to you single pastors who are men. Let me help y'all. Let me help y'all. Women, don't say nothing. Let me help these single male pastors. Let me help y'all. If you have 200 people in your church and 190 of them are women, 150 of them think they the first lady. And the minute you get married, 100 of them leave. That's it. That's my advice. That's my help for you tonight. They're gone. They are gone. Here. Now, Gail, tell me if I'm wrong. I don't even need you to tell me. I know I'm not because I know. Don't, brother, pastor, don't do that. Whatever you do. I'm not saying don't get married. I'm saying don't do it like that, though. Don't leave on Sunday and come back Wednesday with a wife. Don't do that. It's not going to be good for you. It's not. It's just not going to be good. Yeah, Jesse Jackson was at our convocation. So was Bill Clinton. We got a lot of people. We used to have great people that come to our convocations. I don't know what happened.
But Bishop, to the single pastors.
Yes. Tell us something, Gil.
If the single pastors, male or female, if you would stop making these women feel like they are the one.
Here we go.
If you would stop making them feel that they have a chance to be the one, maybe they would stay. But if you're playing games with the women and making them feel like they may be the one.
Jay, here she goes. She done started something tonight. Now again.
No, I'm just saying, if you make these women feel like they are the one, and they may be the one, or you may be praying to look for one. I've never yet seen a pastor marry someone within their ministry. I've never seen it. It may have happened. I am a member of a church where I fellowship with the church. I work with Bishop. I fellowship with the church. The pastor of that church is single and been single, I think, for the last going on 5 years now. And I think if they, I'm not saying that he does that. I'm just saying if the pastor would not make these women feel like they may have a chance to be his wife, they won't have that idea to leave. They will stay because they
I
know.
agree with Sister Brown. Now stop it. If you over a certain age, and I'm gonna go with 22, because I'm good with that. Stop playing. Stop playing. I think it was Bishop.
I don't know. Bishop Sanders married somebody old as his
I think it
kids,
was Bishop
and them.
Winston Page that made Tar Hall.
I think Bishop Robert Sanders married
Marcus
somebody
Tide
old as his
walked out
kids.
last Sunday. What you talking about, St. James? What Tide? What happened? See, I don't know these things. I'm telling y'all, I unplugged for 90 days, so I literally don't know.
Some of these bishops and these pastors, they marry these young women that got life in them when they just about ready to leave.
Bishop Hines stated at Winans Church 2 weeks ago he's not ashamed. God told him to build a 15,000 square foot home with a basketball court, swimming pool, tennis court, and he didn't know how he was going. You know what? Oh yeah, St. James. Yeah, they left as soon as he said he was married. He was out of there. So Collier, good to see you. How you feeling? Praying for you.
Well,
You know,
Detroit is a big city. I mean,
let, but yeah,
Dallas is a big
let
city.
me say,
Dallas
let
is a
me.
big city. It
I
should
don't
not be
know.
that way. I
I
mean,
don't know
it's
how
happened.
Saint.
I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen when Apostle R.D. Hinton, when he got married, he married he married a woman from California, and he brought her to Chicago. After that marriage, I don't know where he got his last wife. She's now they're both deceased now, but I remember in the '80s when Apostle R.D. Hinton was single, church was packed with women, and when he married, I think the wife that he married during that time, it was a lot of women that left, and it didn't really hurt the ministry too bad, but it wasn't as many as before. His church didn't empty out, I put it like that, because a lot of people enjoy his preaching.
Yeah, I hear everything that you're saying. I can tell you, as a pastor who talks to a lot of pastors and who is one, who's been one, single and married. Listen to me, pastors. Don't y'all listen. First of all, let me say this. You cannot, now, I don't often agree with Dr. Sahal, but I do agree with something he said. And that is that you cannot stop delusional people from being delusional. You just can't do it. You cannot do it. There are some people that you can, just because you spoke to them, believe you gave them a sign. Ooh, he spoke to me, Pastor. See, I'm supposed to be the one. I know I'm the one. No, you're not. You can no. He didn't tell you nothing that made you think you was the one. He just spoke to you. Girl, did you notice he told me how nice my shoes were. He just noticed you had some nice shoes. He's trying to be nice. It does not yeah, you cannot stop delusional people. You can't tell the pastor, no, stop that. Listen, all I'm saying to you pastors is someone said it just absolutely crazy, Faith, just absolutely crazy. All I'm saying to the pastors, I don't think R.D. Hill was ever coaching.
He was
Uh,
evangelist. He was evangelist or something like that.
I don't, I don't,
He
I
had his
don't
own.
listen.
He had his own.
You cannot blame pastors for being pastors. What I can say to you pastors are, somebody said it earlier. You just have to date right. I saw that automatic draft registration. Can y'all believe they bringing back the draft? What is wrong with the anyway? What we need a draft for? They don't even fight wars with people anymore. They fight wars with video game drones out there in Las Vegas somewhere. He drafting people, but it is something wrong with it. It is the fact that the fact that we have a so-called Secretary of War is stupid, and the fact that this man keeps talking about warriors. What decade does he think this is? What decade do these people think it is? It is 2026. What are we talking about? Our awesome warriors. It is like they talk like a WWF wrestling commercial all the time. I feel like when I watch Trump and them talk, I feel like I'm watching old Mean Gene and I'm waiting on Andre the Giant to come out. It's a really odd thing to be watching these people. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Bishop, I don't like the term first lady.
Why?
I like the term pastor's wife. I like
Okay.
because it gives more, to me, it gives more validation of pastor's wife. Because you can have a first lady, a second lady, a third lady. Because as we know within the internet world or the cyber world, had a pastor that was married to his wife and then had a mistress for 12 years and married to the wife. So I think they should go back to pastor's wife. I think that's more solid to me.
But if you go back to pastor's wife, what does that have to do with having a mistress for 12 years? Because she was the wife anyway.
Well, see, these women play into that, and um, they need wives, not ladies. They first ladies. They need wives. This is my wife.
That would mean that you believe the concept that his wife wasn't his wife. His wife was his wife. That didn't have nothing to do with what he was doing.
Well, women, if you allow the men to do it to you, then you deserve what you get. You ain't coming to my door. I'm telling you, you're not coming to my door. No. There should be
Dr. Holly
being pastor's wife and not a first lady. I just don't like the term first lady. I don't.
First lady is a term that came about in the 1800s.
I don't like it for this. I don't like
to describe the hostess at the White House, who was often the president's wife. So it's a historical term that we then brought into the church to indicate that. So what first lady literally means is the hostess of the house.
Well, it's not working for some reason, so you need to go back.
Well, you got a lot of pastors' wives who are not who ain't doing that.
It's not working.
The church started using it in the late 1800s, early 1900s. They say that it came into the church at the death of Dolly Madison. It's historically where they say it came into the church, but that would be 1890 or something around there. But the early 1900s is basically when that became a thing in the church. But it was to mimic the First Lady of the United States. Yeah, it started at the White House in the 1800s, and so, but it literally meant the hostess of the house, who at that time was always the president's wife. So that's where the term came in. But it's not. I don't think it's a derogatory term at all.
I think back in the 70s, back in the 60s and 70s, when they said this is the pastor's wife, it seems like it was a little more respect for the woman's that pastor's wife in the church setting.
Well, it is still not a thing in most Baptist churches and other things. It is a thing in our church um, because um, it's a thing in our church because uh, most of our things were in 1968. I mean, the entire structure governance of our church was to mimic the governance of the United States. That's kind of how we've done everything. So um, that's kind of what we do.
Yeah. If I was a pastor married to a pastor, I would like to be referred to as the pastor's wife, not my first lady.
I can see how that could be true.
Because he done had probably had many ladies. So there is no first lady, but there is a wife. I'm just saying. That's just me. You know, that's just me. But please hit that like button. I need some more likes. We're just about halfway there. We need some more likes. So if you be so kind to hit that like button, it would be very nice that you help us out with that.
Somebody asked who is Dr. Holly Carter. She is a entertainment executive out of Los Angeles. Um, she used to be with BT and I think 106 and uh, some other things at BT. Um, she also has a management company. I think she manages Duke Academy, Kiera, a bunch of rappers, Master P, A-Time, a lot of names you know. But that's who Dr. Holly Carter is, and so that's how she knows uh, Bishop Sheard and Cameron. She also manages Donnie McCurdy. Yeah, remember Mother Willis' church. Yeah, yeah. She's an entertainment exec. I'm sure she did. Um, there you go. Relieve Entertainment. Yeah, yeah. She's not in LA. And she created the Preachers franchise. Preachers of Detroit, Preachers of Atlanta. Yeah, that's all her.
Oh, the show that got canceled on TLC?
Yeah, that's all her.
Oh, wow.
She's the creator of that.
They only had about maybe 4 shows, 4 or 5 shows.
And the creator of all the Ratchet TV that you see on television would be Bishop Plummer and his son out of Detroit. Yeah, all the Ratchet TV, that's all the plumbers.
Well, they need to have a show called At the Church.
All of them fighting shows and the girls going wild fighting shows and Andrew Caldwell and all of it, all of it is the plumbers. Yeah. Again, but that's a very close friend of Bishop Sheard as well.
Somebody want to make billions of dollars. All they got to do is have a show called At the Church. Because there's something going on, look like every week, not just on Sunday.
You know what? How old is Mother Kelly now? What is she, 90
I think
something?
she's 94, 95.
See, again, that goes back to the age limits that I was talking about. Listen, y'all, I have had an amazing amount of fun tonight. I want to thank y'all. Uh, she produced the Clark Sisters film. Okay, I didn't know that.
Mm. It had the world upset.
I did
Had the
not
world
know.
upset. Oh, that man got hit Dr. Clark. Had the man and had the original character or the original person that was portrayed, uh, Twinkie Husband, scared to go outside from what I was told. So they were mad because he hit Dr. Clark. So I had the church all upset over a movie.
I mean, but she's a very accomplished. She's a very accomplished chick. I mean, she's not just, and she's. I mean, she's actually accomplished. She actually has a, believe it or not, she has an earned doctorate in ministry. Yeah, she ain't just a whatever.
Mother Kelly is going to be Mother Kelly until the Lord call her to eternal. She's going to be Mother Kelly, and nobody going to stop her, I guess. Nobody will stop her. Yeah, she's one of the highlights of the church. She gets a lot of views, and people make a lot of clips. And we love Mother Kelly. I don't always understand why Mother Kelly does what she does, but she's been doing it a long time. She's been in the field of preaching the gospel for a long time. And we are grateful. I want to thank everyone for viewing this channel. And please hit the like button. It doesn't cost anything. Just hit the like button. That helps us out a lot. Back to you, Bishop.
Okay, I'm back. All right. Gotta unmute that thing. Listen, I want to thank all of you who've been kind enough to sow a seed tonight. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We always appreciate whatever it is that you do. If you didn't and you want to, y'all see it right there. $ Heat Show. If you want to support the platform, we're glad to be back. We will be back on Friday, and we'll see y'all again on next Sunday. If you're not here on Friday, for those of you who have to go back and watch. Primarily, we're talking about what's getting ready to happen in General Assembly, and just having some fun here at the end, just kind of hanging out with y'all. So thank you all for tuning in. It's been 2 hours and 42 minutes of really good fun. Glad to see Gail back in the building. Glad to be back in the building. I told the people you've had a couple of accidents since they've last seen you. I've had some things going on. So we got a lot. Y'all pray for us. Thank you so much for your support. All that will watch us afterwards, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the season song. Thank you, Earl. Thank you. We appreciate all of you who are doing everything that you do. Go back and watch, Angela. Go back and watch. And come holler at us on Friday. But we're going to be talking about a whole lot of things. We're going to be talking about Bishop Wooten and politics and all kinds of stuff. We got a lot to talk about on Friday. I gotta touch on what's popping with what popped off with I guess people are all upset about O.C. Allen. It's just a lot that didn't happen since we've been gone. So we're gonna talk about it all. We're gonna open it up. I think we may open up Friday, just open mic. Y'all come tell us what y'all want to talk about. I'm gonna talk about like 2 or 3 things. Y'all come tell me what y'all talk about. Yeah, start hanging out on YouTube. We have not got to TikTok yet. So we ain't got there yet, but we're making our way over to the other platforms. But thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all so much. We thank y'all for just hanging out with us. Yeah, free for all Friday. Let's go. Y'all bring it. We're gonna talk about it. The budget proposal. Yeah. We got to talk about that too. We got to talk about this election, y'all. I'm very engaged in what's going on. National Action Network just had their convention this past week. It was a very good convention. Listen, we gotta talk about some things. So because we want to be informed, we want to share this information with us, and then of course we're gonna talk about what's happening at this General Assembly. I will be there either Wednesday or Thursday. We're praying for Bishop Wooten.
So that means if you're going to be at the General Assembly, then you probably do the show from Memphis.
No, I'll be home Friday. I'm gonna be home
Okay.
Friday. Absolutely.
Okay.
Um, I didn't know Jody Lamb was sick. All right, yeah, I'm done. It's in your hands. Yeah, we coming with the heat on Friday. I'm done. I'm out. Love
Thank you
you.
so much. We appreciate all of you that have taken the time to stop by this channel on this evening. Those of you that are needing prayer, if you would like to send your prayer request, Heat Show comments at gmail.com. I'm going to put up the email address. So those of you that have concerns, or if you have some things that you'd like Bishop to talk about, why not take the time to send an email to heatshowcomments at gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to donate to this channel, you can see the dollar amounts that you can choose from $3, $7, $15, $25 or more to Cash App, $Heat Show. You will see the logo that's behind me. You can send that donation to that Cash App. Again, that number is $3, $7, $15, or $25. And your monies helps us do more in the community. Online, we have calls that come up to our office almost daily of people needing help. And your offering, your seed, your donation helps us to bless those that have a need. Again, if you have some things that you would like Bishop to talk about, to discuss, or if you just have something that you would like to discuss with Bishop and you didn't want to bring it in on the chat, you can send that email to heatshowcomments at gmail.com. Those of you that are needing prayer and you would like for us to put you on our prayer list, please send a text message of that prayer that you would like us to pray for. You can send it to 210-960-6364. That number that you can send that text, or you can call and leave a message of what you would like us to pray for. That number is 210-960-6364. Again, that number is 210-960-6364. Send that text message or call that number to leave your prayer request. We would love to hear from you. You can call the office at 210-960-6364. God, we thank you for another opportunity that you have allowed us to come by way of YouTube, to have a discussion with your people and those that are watching this channel. God, we thank you. We want to say thank you for all that you've done for us today. Thank you for allowing us to rise early this morning and even to this point of day. We want to thank you. We appreciate you. We love you, God. We glorify you, God. We lift your name. We know that you are the one and true God that we serve, that we love, and that we represent. Thank you for being the person there for us. When we don't have anybody else there, God, you've always been there. You were there all the time, even when we forgot. Sometimes we forgot. Sometimes things pass us by. Sometimes things we don't remember. But God, you're still there. You've been there all the time. And we appreciate you being there all the time. You are the giver of life. We thank you for the life that you give us. We thank you for allowing us to have the air that we breathe. Thank you for allowing us to breathe in and to breathe out. God, we pray for those that are in the hospital, that need physical healing, that need mental healing, those that are in the hospital, God, those that are going through surgery, those that are going to surgery, those that have ailments within their body. God, I ask that you would heal, and deliver. God, there are people that don't know where to turn. They don't know where to go, to the left or go to the right, to go forward or to go back. But God, direct us, lead us and guide us to all truth. And we believe your word, God. We trust your word. We know your word is true. And we depend on you, God. We're holding on to you, Lord, because you told us. And God, we're in a place of waiting. And God, sometime in our place of waiting, we get restless. We don't know what to do, God. We're impatient. God, teach us how to be patient when we're waiting on you to do what you have to do for us. I pray for every home. I pray for those homes that have children. I pray for couples. I pray for marriages. I pray for friendship. I pray for relationship. And God, thank you for the relationship that we have with you. Thank you for hearing our call, hearing our prayer. And God, I ask that you bless everyone that has viewed this platform tonight, this morning, this evening, this afternoon, whenever they view this show, that you would rain on them, that you would pour out your spirit on them, that you will meet their needs, God. Every need that needs to be met, God, you can meet the need, whatever they ask, God. And if they believe in your name, that it is so, you will let it come to pass. Thank you for being the true person that we can believe and we can lean on you, God. We lean on people sometimes, God, and they fail us. But God, you've never failed us. And we thank you, God, because you have blessed us to be who we are right now. As we grow in you, God, teach us how to be like you. Take everything out of us that is not like you. Make us new, God. Clean us up where we're dirty. Make us clean, God. Clean our thoughts, clean our language, clean our communication skills. Clean us up, God, when we talk to people. Show us how to talk in a Christian way. Show us how not to get so sensitive and get upset real quick, God. Teach us how to calm down, God. Teach us how to be like you. Teach us patience, Lord. And we thank you, God, because we love you, God, and you loved us back. Thank you for loving us back. And God, as we love you more, you continue to love us still. We appreciate you. We love you. And God, as we leave YouTube tonight, as we leave KEPX Radio in San Diego, California, please keep us, God. Put a hedge around us, God. I pray for safety for the children that are about to get out of school in a few weeks, God. Put a hedge of protection around them, God. Put a hedge of protection around their parents, God. We pray for homes that need safety, God. Evil is all around us, God, but you can protect us. You can keep us safe. Thank you for being our safety guard. And God, I bless you, and I give your name the praise. I say thank you, Lord. We say thank you, Lord. We lift our hands and we say thank you, Lord. We thank you, God. We appreciate you, and we love you. Until the next time, God, when we come back on YouTube to give more encouragement, God, to give more information to those that listen to this channel. We thank you and we bless you. And until the next time, God, bless everyone. Bless them financially, spiritually, and with good health. We pray for good health now, God. Some of us are not healthy, God, but you're going to show us how to be healthy. And God, I thank you for strength. Where we're weak, you told us to say we're strong. And we're strong in you, Lord. And we thank you and we appreciate you, God. We bless you. We give you glory. We bless you, Lord. I bless your name. I bless your name. Thank you for everything that you've done for me, God, even to come by way of your people where they see us on camera. God, I pray for Bishop Jordan. Touch his heart. He loves your people, God. Encourage him, God, tonight. Encourage him, God. Give him what he needs. And as he travels, God, protect him over the dangerous highways. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Until next time, may God keep you and bless you. Is our prayer.